Do not waste your money. Unless this game is the most frustrating game I have ever had the displeasure to play. Why, might you ask? It is due to the fact that the gameplay is way too difficult. There are no difficulty settings. It is difficult because for each section of the game you must plow through an endless number of enemies, anywhere between 40 to 70, and if you die anywhere in that section, say the starting point, Central Yarnum, you have to start at the very beginning. In other words, there are no save points like most games. You start off as a level 10 character, but according to the book I bought, the start of gameplay, Central Yarnum, is level 25? How is this fair? In addition, to learn how to play, you can either buy the manual, expensive hardcover book, or stay in Hunter's Dream and keep going over the notes these creepy little mini skeletons give you to read. How about a screen for instructions like most games? Nope. It is also a poor game because the story is not explained to you. Why does my character wake up on an operating table and who is the old man that speaks to me? Who or what are these little skeletal creatures that seem to attack me before I play? Where am I? What is Hunter's Dream? What is Yarnum? What is the hunt? This is not explained at all. Most games have too much story or not enough. This has not enough. Another reason why the game is bad is the lack of color in the game. By that I mean enough color. Another reason why I do not like this game is how is it a Lovecraft game? Which creatures have I encountered related to or have a relationship to the old ones? Again, not enough explanation or story. This game, however, is for you if you do not have a life, that you are one of those losers, young kids who have nothing to do but skip school and play games all day, or adults who have no job and nothing better to do all day. And of course they are good, because that's all they do all day. You know the type. People who, when playing online, trash talk to make themselves feel better for their own failings. Great game if the difficulty wasn't set to insanely hard. Game design is very good, but they've made this game incredibly hard. I had a hard time getting by the first boss. I had spent hours pulling my hair out of my head, moving through the game. Extremely frustrating. I love a challenge, and I'm a hardcore gamer, but it got to the point where I simply quit playing it. I won't play it again unless they find a way to turn down the difficulty. Crap. One of the worst games I have ever played. Tiresome, repetitive, absurdly hard, and not in a challenging way. How is it fun to go down the same road over and over and over again, killing the same set of baddies? It's a game for people with way more time on their hands than I have, an extremely high threshold for banal repetition. All for gameplay and headache graphics. You can yap all you want, it's supposed to be hard and blah blah blah, but there is a difference between something that takes genuine skill to play and a piece of crap slapped together with RNG. I'm not digging my way through 55 plus enemies every time one of them gets lucky 2 hits. I'm also not leaving a single person alive behind me. Save your money. This game was barely good in 2015 and is utter crap now, relying on non-skill related components to simply slow you down, not actually challenge you. Just terrible. Couldn't stand even an hour of this game. Way too frustrating. You just die and die again with no clue as how to progress. Truly the worst game I have ever played. Do not waste your time or money. I bought this game no more than 3 weeks ago, and I have already deleted it from my PS4 digital copy. Okay, so I'm gonna break down this game from my experience. The graphics of this game are not that bad. A lot of people on here complain about them, but I'm pretty sure it is the new generation that is spoiled on games that are good graphics. I've owned every game system since they started coming out with Atari. Now this is far as a positive review will go. Graphics, that's it. This game is beyond hard. The developers need to be punched in the junk repeatedly for doing what they did on this game. So throughout the game, when you start a new game, that there are certain dead bodies that have little white glowing globes. They usually contain health items. Now you will only notice that these guys will show up the first time you go through the level. If you go back to the Hunter's Dream, then go back, those guys will no longer have those items available. One time thing. So here's what I don't get. those guys don't show back up. But man, if you die, the guys you beat are always there no matter what. Save points are almost impossible to reach. In the 3 weeks, I had made it to 1 save point, and that's it. After trying to make it to the second one, probably 10 times or more, I finally deleted it. This game is so disappointing it's not even funny. I was really excited about this game, and I have never deleted a game in my life this fast. Honestly, the first time I've ever deleted a game, I've always stuck through it and beat them. But this one, you just can't. It will literally suck the life out of you. Buy spare controllers so you can throw them. Honestly think the developers did this on purpose just for the laughs. Don't waste your time or money on this game. I think they hired my people to write positive reviews in this game. I find it really hard to believe that many people were satisfied with this game. Once you play it, you will understand. Don't buy literally a copy of Dark Souls, except it was produced by some B-list company that didn't understand what makes Dark Souls good. The worst, most gory game ever. When I play video games, I want to be entertained and be a part of the game. Bloodborne is a gory, freaky game which doesn't entertain. I've gone through maybe 0.5% of the game and I was covered with blood. I killed dozens of beasts from hell and it was getting worse with every turn around every corner. The controls are so complicated it took me a while to figure out. I've had some weapons on me. Every enemy is a hellish monster which gives you nightmares later that night. I can't even imagine how the game bosses look like. Unfortunately, I bought the download version of the game so I couldn't resell it. The worst $35 I've ever spent. In the end, I deleted the game. Next time I'll rent it first instead of blowing $35 on a game whose only purpose is to scare you to death and give you mental illness. Oh, God, Flavin.
Worst game I have ever played. Got sick and tired of dying every 5 minutes and then fighting the same monsters over and over. Threw it in the trash. He hates it.
Hard, frustrating, and repetitive. I thought I would love this game. Just bought a PS4 and it was as close to Nightmare Creatures as you could get. I thought. This game is fight, collect, die. Fight, collect, die. Run, fight, collect, die. Start at the beginning, no progress. Fight, collect, die. How does that sound fun? I've never played any of the Dark Souls series, but I already hate the game designers. They make hard, frustrating games, period. Didn't think Bloodborne was gonna be like the Dark Souls series. I'm trading this back in for Metal Gear Solid or Fallout. But before I do, here is what I like about the game. The graphics are great and smooth. The town is great looking. The monster designs are awesome. But that's it. This game had the potential to be awesome, but it failed. Synthetic difficulty and mediocre gameplay. This game isn't difficult, it's just severely punishing for mistakes made, and there is little to absolutely no reward to time spent on the game until you get to a new save point. I quit playing and deleted it off my hard drive because the game is a giant steaming pile of niche elitism. It's as if the difficulty is there to make up for the terrible AI, the clunky combat system, a severe lack of a narrative, and mediocre graphics and sound. All those could be forgiven if the game had a good story. But no, it's a game that just exists for the people that really love it to thumb their nose in the air at the gaming plebs and just say get good or stick to Telltale games. It's the gaming equivalent of Napoleon Dynamite, a movie that so many people said you have to watch a few times before you appreciate it. Bloodborne is nothing innovative or genre and console defining like so many people said. Its mechanics are the same as the Souls games, just simplified and a tad more fluid, and made punishing through terrible game design such as massive enemy damage and measly player damage. Yes, the game requires patience, and I'd forgive that if there was reward. But to me, there's no reward in making the player do the exact same thing over and over until they can figure out a pattern and attack style that doesn't open up for a mistake or two. Synthetic difficulty and poor game design don't make a must-own game for me. They just make a game that has bad design and makes me question the sanity of the experts.
This game makes you feel like a loser. Can't enjoy the game because you can't win.
Simply not fun for the casual gamer. I purchased this game based on excellent reviews and was severely let down. This was my first Souls game, so perhaps I don't know what I was getting into, but as a casual gamer who plays once or twice a week, this game was far too difficult to enjoy. The problem is that many enemies kill you with 1 to 2 shots, and save points are few and far between. So you can be literally playing for an hour and have all your progress lost. Also, if you go into a wrong area, you can encounter an enemy that is far too powerful for your leveling and get killed instantly with no warning. This is simply irrational. Why not make more checkpoints or adjustable difficulty setting like most other games? Makes no rational sense to me. Also, I like a game with a good story, and there was basically none that I could tell. After several hours of playing, I still had no idea who my character was, or what his goal was. You're thrown in this medieval city right away with no explanation on what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go. Bottom line is, the story didn't hook me, and I had no desire to play the same level over and over, so I gave up.
If you stick it out, you'll have fun. If you just get a little better, you'll have a better time. If you just... People keep making excuses as to why it's okay that this game is so hard. Frankly, I don't care. As a casual gamer, I don't need to defend my wants. The level of difficulty this game starts off as is too high for me to care. There should be an easy mode for newbies like me. I played it for around 15 hours, gave up. Things you should know before buying this game. 1. Hardest game I ever played. 2. Even though there is an open world layout, it feels linear. 3. Controls and options are surprisingly simple and lack variation. You can't sneak, you can't aim your gun for headshots. No cool moves or blocks. 4. As far as I can tell, there is no pause. Why do games do this? It does not add playability. There are too many things that make this game unplayable. If you want a challenge, then this is your game. If I wanted to beat my head against a wall, fight for every last ounce of skill improvement I can gain, then I would play more FPS, which I do. But that is not what I want with non-FPS. Just not worth it for me. Edit. I received enough input from friends that I decided to give it another whack. Watched a few tutorials. Currently I am working my way through the castle with that giant eye, Frenzy. I'm gonna let this one stand for the following reasons. These include my previously stated reasons. Everyone I talk has needed to go online and watch walkthroughs on how to fight better. If you can't play the game without needing online help, then you have a game that is unplayable. Laziness and tutorials deserves a lower star. The story is crap. The developer and the ultimate excuse when arguing with people's to why there is no story but it's a dream is not supposed to have an in-depth story. Sorry, either garbage backstory or poor story making in general. And I never once felt like I was in a dream. I felt like this was simply another world like I could do with other games. 3. I started with the saw cleaver, and so far the only thing faster is half as powerful. So I'm stuck with this thing. My power weapon did get better, LHB, but even then there's not a lot of option. The armor has very little options. More or less, you should just pick what looks best for you. And holy crap. Needing to grind through an endless amount of enemies to get refill sedatives and blood vials is stupid, just plain stupid. I can either spend 20 minutes fight low value enemies refilling my blood vials or spend 80k. You can't even buy a sedative. There's no reason for this. It's not as bad as I originally thought, but I have had to jump through so many hoops for this game. At this point, it's just poking my ego, so I have to complete it, but enjoyment? I can't say I'm really enjoying it. Correction! And yes, there is a mild sneak function, but not a big part of the game. Wanted to like it. I'm not familiar with the Souls game, but I thought I could try this game and to try something different as well. I didn't get to the first boss because all the enemies spawned again when I did a little backtracking. I didn't even die, so I didn't know why anyone spawned when it took me hours to kill all of them. I'm not sure if that was supposed to happen. Everyone spawning back when not being killed?
but I didn't want to fight them all over again. So I traded this game for Alien Isolation instead. This game is horrible. Don't read the 5-star reviews. If you like playing the same first 20 minutes of a game for 3 hours, then buy it. I've never played a Souls game and I don't know the story and never will because of this experience. 0 stars! Ugh. I can honestly say I hate Bloodborne. This is my honest opinion and in no way reflects how others might feel. I don't like third-person play on games. I'm used to playing in the first person, so that alone is a challenge. The graphics are not up to par. I can say, without a doubt, that they are not the Order graphics. The werewolves in this game don't even come close to the ones in the Order. I can't say that this game has many levels or whatnot because I honestly didn't play long. The game is a pain in the ass. If I have to be frustrated on a game, that means I don't have time or patience to play it. I already don't have time because I have a life. So anytime I do get to game, I don't want to spend all day trying to figure some crap out. This game is a big letdown. Not what I expected. I honestly expected another Order, but with actual gameplay in it. What I got is a big disappointment. On a side note, the create a character thing is pretty cool. They have a lot of variations, which I wish they would do for other games that have a similar create a character. OMG, the biggest gripe, no story. I thought someone was joking when they said that. Nope, it's the truth. No story. This might as well be an online free-to-play game. Bad bye, go elsewhere. This game is a frustrating waste of time and not worth the investment. I am not a professional gamer, but I am reasonably competent and enjoy delving into new world. I have played no other Souls games primarily because of the save-free leveling system. This game is just a bother. You end up running each level about 50 times, and it gets so tedious and boring only a masochist could find it entertaining. You are constantly being ambushed by new enemies with new characteristics, which should be fine. But you cannot save and must repeat the entire level to get your chance at the daemon. Add to that the gratuitous blood and always fighting in the dark with enemies, weapons, and moves are largely hidden make the game extremely unsatisfying and tiresome. I cannot for the life of me see why this approach is preferred. You could change every detail of your character's skin, hair, muscle, lips, and eyes, but you can't save or turn off the blood. It seemed a simple thing to allow saving, including a bloodless switch, and improve the lighting or add some daylight. They could all be optional switches to appeal to a broader range of players while not alienating the hardcore from the crowd. I guess they just make so much money that they do not need to increase their market. Bottom line, not worth $5. Do not waste your time or money. And get on it, doggone it. If you have no life, get it. If you do, don't. This game reeks of being full of itself. Like it's the only game that exists for PS4, and like you have nothing else to do with your life except spend countless, unnecessary hours figuring out the stupid, subtle nuances to kill enemies that shouldn't be that hard to kill. Because it's not that fun to kill them. You die so many times that it is not even funny. You will get tired of this game in an hour tops. And this is at the very beginning of the game. To add insult to injury, every time you die, you have to sit and stare at a screen that just says Bloodborne for an entire minute. If the game was good enough and unique enough, maybe it would be worth it. But I doubt it. The fact that it's some generic game where you just run through a town and kill people for no reason makes it unplayable. There is no story whatsoever. No instructions or tutorial whatsoever. You get nothing. The graphics aren't even that great. It's a pathetic waste of $60. You will see people that say, that's the point, man. Spend hours trying to kill one enemy, and that makes it so rewarding. Really? How? What can you do with that skill? Nothing. If there were difficulty settings, that would be fine. If you choose to make it that hard, great. But for most of us who aren't Obama voting welfare recipients who sit at home smoking pot, welfare paid for food and playing video games. We have jobs and live and don't have 100 hours to commit to one of the hundreds of PS4 games that isn't even that great. Jesus. I gave it a chance. After 6 hours, I beat one enemy and got my weapons. That's it. It's not even fun anymore. No controller's broken. I get the difficulty aspect, but there's no reason to go back to a game where I can't progress. You die, wait 5 minutes to respawn, and start from the beginning with less resources. I don't know what this is, but it's not a video game.
Oh, let me taste your tears. Your tears are so yummy and sweet.
Giga bitches.